Imagine waking up one day and looking up at the night sky, but you're not seeing a distant ceiling of stars. You're looking at your neighborhood, a place where human beings don't just visit but actually live, work, and raise families on giant rocks drifting through the darkness of space. Welcome to this explainer. We are skipping the preamble and dropping right into one of the most mind-blowing blueprints of tomorrow, civilizing the asteroid belt.
Think about it. What if the places that always terrified us as these lifeless, empty stones actually become the safest, smartest, and most advanced homes humanity has ever known? What if the future of civilization isn't buried on just one planet, but scattered across thousands of floating worlds? Once you really picture this, the universe stops feeling so empty and starts feeling incredibly full of possibilities.
And we're not just talking about some cramped little space station here. We're talking about the next great metropolis existing on a giant rock floating silently between planets. Imagine entire civilizations suspended above the void, complete with massive glass towers, underground tunnels, bright domes of light, spinning habitats, and vertical farms. At first glance, sure, it sounds absolutely insane. But hey, history is full of things that sounded impossible right up until human beings made them a reality.
Section 1. Engineering the impossible. Okay, let's dive into this and look at the brutal, precise engineering required to turn a cold, airless rock into a breathing home. Here on Earth, our cities are kind of a mess. They're forced to work around geography, unpredictable weather, and historical accidents. But on an asteroid, a city could be designed from the very beginning with pure purpose. Because space offers absolutely no mercy, you have to engineer everything perfectly. Engineered light, engineered gravity. Waste has to be recycled with incredible efficiency in zero-waste closed-loop ecosystems. It literally has to be perfect just to survive.
But you don't just snap your fingers and get a shining metropolis, right? You start small. The first engineers and miners to arrive definitely won't live in luxury. They are going to endure controlled survival. Their job is brutal. Mapping and stabilizing the rock, managing every single breath of air. From that mere survival, they build stability. That leads to growth, the birth of a new culture, and eventually a completely new human identity. That is the exact step-by-step path of how a settlement actually becomes a society.
Now, you can't just pick any random rock in space. Humanity has to find the absolute perfect real estate that gives us both physical shielding and vital resources. Take a look at this. Rubble piles, hard pass. They're way too dangerous and could literally break apart if we mess with them. But an iron and nickel asteroid, that is your structural jackpot, giving us metallic strength for massive building, and asteroids rich in water ice, that's the holy grail. That gives you drinking water, breathable air, and even rocket fuel.
So, once we find that perfect rock, how do we actually build on it? Well, we don't build on it, we build in it. Instead of constructing vulnerable towers exposed on the surface, we'd literally carve deep inside the mountain in space. We'd use kilometers of ancient stone to shield residents from lethal cosmic radiation and micro-impacts. Imagine entering a surface tunnel and descending into a warm, safe, hidden civilization tucked away inside a giant protective shell.
Section 2. The space economy.
Let's move to the economics and see how this builds into a self-reinforcing financial powerhouse. Because before millions of people pack their bags, we aren't sending humans to do the most dangerous groundwork. Fleets of autonomous drones and AI-driven robots are going to go first. They map the rock, drill, and build the initial infrastructure in environments that are just way too harsh for us. The machines prepare the world, and then humans arrive to make it a civilization.
And the financial incentive to do this is off the charts. Asteroids are packed with massive quantities of valuable metals and silicates. By mining and manufacturing off-world, we completely bypass Earth's massive gravity well. Right now, launching heavy materials from Earth is astronomically expensive. By processing materials directly in space, we drastically lower construction costs, transforming these asteroids into bustling hubs for logistics, shipyards, and vital staging points for deeper solar system missions.
Section 3. Life inside the rock. Okay, so what is it actually like for the people living inside these hollowed-out worlds? Since asteroids lack Earth-like mass, gravity isn't just a given. It has to be an engineered experience. People might live in massive rotating habitats where the floor curves gently upward into a giant ring. Centrifugal force pushes you to the floor, meaning your whole concept of up and down gets completely rewired.
Think about the profound psychological shift here. Children growing up in these places aren't going to tie their identity to a country or a continent on Earth. They'll look around and tie their belonging to a beautifully engineered structure orbiting the sun. Imagine someone proudly saying, "I come from this ring. this city, this asteroid. It's a completely new kind of human belonging.
Moving into space won't erase human culture, it's going to create entirely new ones. You'll see art inspired by the constant hum of life support machinery, and architecture totally dictated by pressure and rotation. They won't celebrate Earth's winter or summer. Instead, imagine holidays based on orbital milestones, or massive festivals marking the day the vital supply ships arrive.
But as these cities grow into massive strategic assets controlling essential resources, we really have to ask who governs the rock. Will they operate as independent city-states? Will they be massive corporate-owned territories? Or maybe remote administrative zones overseen by Earth nations? Figuring out the laws and governance for large populations living in the vacuum of space is going to be just as hard as the engineering, and we really have to avoid the old colonial mistakes of the past.
Section 4. Becoming a solar civilization.
So the absolutely crucial takeaway of this whole explainer is what this means for the ultimate survival of our species. We often forget how incredibly fragile our home is. Earth gives us everything, but overpopulation, climate change, and disasters remind us that putting all of human civilization on a single planetary surface forever is a very dangerous gamble.
And ironically, moving away from Earth might be the very thing that makes us love and protect it more. For the residents of these asteroid cities, they'll experience a permanent distance from the cradle of humanity. Seeing Earth as just a bright, fragile little jewel hanging in the black sky is going to instill a deep, deep reverence. It could easily transform these space residents into some of our birth planet's most devoted protectors.
Because ultimately, these asteroid cities aren't the final destination. They are the stepping stones. They prove we can link living, manufacturing, and cultural systems together across the void. They pave the way for habitats circling the moon, massive settlements on Mars, and vital refueling depots between distant worlds. This is how we evolve from a planetary species into a truly cosmic one.
This whole blueprint, it really isn't just about rocks in space. It's a profound question about our legacy. It asks if we have the courage and the vision to spread life across the solar system and totally redefine what humanity is capable of becoming. So I'll leave you with this. Are we a species that settles for one fragile world, or do we learn to become cosmic? Thank you for joining me on this explainer. Keep wondering and keep looking up.